And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara Podcast. Here's Jeff.
Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday to you. And if you're on the other side of the planet, happy Sunday to you. No, Father's Day actually is next Sunday. I thought about that. And yeah, next Father's Day, excuse me, is Sunday. Let me get myself together here. And I don't know if I have a feeling that my chat is still not working. I don't understand what's going on with my chat. My chat is right here, and you guys can see it too. And I just don't get why it's not working. It always worked for the longest time, but now it's not syncing up properly. And I come over here and I refresh it, but it's still, I don't know, it's doing crazy stuff. It's kind of it's very annoying. It's not kind of annoying, it's very annoying. You know, when things don't work as they should, it's annoying. But on that note, I don't know if you guys have seen, but UFOs is blowing up in the media, and it's all over the place, kind of, and it's pretty interesting. I'm wondering what your guys' thoughts on it, if you've seen it, the people who saw ETs in their backyard. There are videos of this family and the cop's footage that the cop had on his body cam, and on his body cam it caught some kind of, like, it almost to me kind of looks more like a meteor than a UFO, but it does seem like it's like a green flash, and it does seem to change direction. I'm not really sure if the changing in the direction is him moving or what you're seeing, but what you are seeing in it is there's a young man, and he called the police, and the police show up, and he's telling them about the ETs. I think there were 2 of them, and they were like 8 to 10 feet tall, and he could see them moving his eyes, and they were terrified about it. I'm surprised you could even call if you're that terrified. But I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think somebody would fake that. I mean, a whole family, him, his brother, and it looked like his parents in the video would actually go through with something like that to call up the police and fake that. And they do have something on camera. I'm curious what you guys think about that. And my chat's delayed, but we'll see about that. Anyways, I'm curious about that. What else is going on? We're carrying on. We're still here. I guess you guys are okay. See, the old chat is here, and the new chat here is here, and this one's saying they don't hear sound. But I think this is old chat right here. And it appears that everything is going as it should. All right, so well, let's get going, guys. We have people here. Let's see who's here and who do we want to bring in. And let me check something because people are supposed to also be coming this evening. And I wanted to check in on that. I don't have any messages. We were trying to have someone come and do a sound bowl healing for us. But I don't know. She was working on the audio, so I'm not sure where we are on that. But let's go here. Let's bring in Chloe. I always feel so empty without background music. I mean, that's the DJ in me. When you're a DJ, you don't like that emptiness. So much better when I just add a little something. Chloe, are you there?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Chloe, how are you?
Good. Trying to make myself not a stranger.
Well, you're not a stranger to us. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Have you heard about all the UFO news?
The what, sorry?
I don't know if you're into UFOs or not, but
Yes.
There's been a lot of news happening out of Las Vegas. Have you seen anything on that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm very much into UFOs. I have contact, as they call it. So I see ships on a regular basis.
Really?
Yes,
And this
I
is
do.
in a conscious waking state?
Yes, and with people present. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I
So-
wish I was your neighbor so I could see them too.
Well, as a medium, we can all, and even if not being a medium, we all have the ability to connect with our consciousness to these beings from other planets, because they're just like us, really.
Right.
We're all part of the same thing. They're all a part of consciousness. So it's just being open, how I do it. And if you've ever seen Stephen Greer's, he has a contact protocol, CE5 protocol.
Right.
So, and there's a guy here called Peter Maxwell Slattery here in Australia, and he does similar. Yeah, so
I've had him as a guest.
have you? Yeah, he's
have you
great.
Have you seen his videos of the ETs in his house?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Wow,
I'll have to have a look.
That's pretty intense.
I've seen some where you can kind of see the outline of a being. But yeah, it's similar to what he does and others. So you connect with your heart. This is how I do it. So this may be good for your viewers, right? To maybe practice. So when you go out, when I go out to the beach here, I'm in a pretty isolated place, so that helps, I feel. So just connect into your heart and just feel love. And just feel and connect to the love, say to the love of a partner or a child, a friend, an animal. Just feel that love increasing, and then you send out that love heart out into the sky, and it just see it getting larger and larger and larger, and you go, and with that heart consciousness, you go, I would love to have a shared contact experience, or I would like to connect, almost like this is your form of saying greetings. So this is like saying greetings, I'm open to share an experience. So usually within about within half an hour you'll see a ship come. So a ship, like it's like a round orb, and you'll see it come, and then you might get a power up, and they may even blink. So if you have a flashlight or a torch, you can even like start communicating. So you'll get a blink, and then a blink back. Yeah, but you look, they connect to people that I feel are open and full of love and no fear, because there is really nothing to fear, because they're just like us. That's what I feel. I wanted to talk about UFOs, but I also wanted to talk about ghosts and stuff like that too. So
whatever you want to talk about, it's your time.
Well, because we are all consciousness, and realizing that we are actually all connected and not separated. That's how we can actually connect to beings that are from different planets. But I wanted to talk about recently I did a healing with, I've had a few clients in the US, and I did a healing with a lady in Florida, and I was connecting and doing a clearing. So I'm an energy clearer. So I connect and clear energy, dense energy in the body. So in doing that, She also said that she had banging and clanging and all sorts of things happening in her house. So she had a haunting. And that's what I do as well. I help to clear houses that are haunted. And I do it all via distance. So she had clanging going on in the garage of her house. And she was wondering, okay, Chloe, can you just check and see what's going on? So she had a guy attached to her car. She traveled from San Francisco all the way over to Florida.
That's a long drive.
It is. And it was really interesting because when I connected to this guy that was attached to the car, he looked like he was from California, like a guy who was Hispanic, cross African American, and he had a sort of past to do with sort of affiliated with drug dealing and sort of gangster stuff, right? And I said, he's telling me he's from California, like that area. And it was only on her saying that she'd actually bought the car from California that was like, wow, it's quite amazing. So he was actually attached to the car because that was his unfinished business. So he, had worked so hard to get that car. And this is why spirits get stuck, right? They get either attached to the house or they get attached to an object. And through just talking to him and just saying, where you're going, you don't need to take that. And reconnecting him to his loved ones that came and collected him from spirit. Haunting finished.
So
it's pretty amazing.
What was the technique you used to get the spirit to go to light or at least just leave?
Well, the technique that I use, because I'm a healer, is I help to heal them, and I talk to them and I say, why are you stuck in her garage? What's going on here? He said, I've worked really hard for this car. I stuck around and I worked and I did all these deals I risked my life to have this car. So there was a lot of psychic resonance of why he had to stick around and why he was there. So just reducing that and just saying, look, you've left that life and things happen, but now you have to go and let go, but then introduce him to his relatives. And that's where they forget about their separateness and heart connection. See how we're talking about the UFOs and heart connection and how we're talking about this and how that relates as well. So unity consciousness, connecting to the heart, realizing that we're all connected and that the heart basically beats any fear and doubt. And once you connect to the heart, you let go of all that old stuff because it has no meaning. It has no meaning, especially when you go into the afterlife. You're like, oh, relationships and connections, that's where the meaning is.
Yeah. Do you feel that beings like this are in a low vibratory state?
Yeah.
And that's what is part of the attachments, because a lot of NDEers, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but a lot of NDEers end up saying they could care less about this life and this body. They're so happy, but maybe they go in to the other side under a higher frequency, and when in a lower frequency you're still attached to this realm.
Exactly. I would sum it up. That's a very good summarization of the experience, because when you do connect to high vibrational energies, you realize all that lower vibrational stuff, it doesn't matter. It just becomes so reduced. So literally you're raising your frequency through bliss and through that beautiful heart connection. You're like, oh my God, why did I even think of all of that stuff as being important? You know what I mean? And then we see the parallel with near-death experiences as well. So then they come back and they're like, oh my God, they get to have a second chance. And then they look at their lives and they think, where am I going? What's important here? And then they realize it's the connections with the relationships and giving to other people and maybe having a purpose or a job where it's got much more meaning to connect again, to increase the heart vibration.
Cool.
It's incredible, isn't it?
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Chloe, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us this evening. It was nice to hear about your UFOs as well as this entity attachment. Your YouTube channel is just after your name, right? Chloe Ariel Soul Sessions?
That's right. Yeah.
And you have
And you'll
go ahead.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
And you'll see me channeling Cosmic Collective there too. So that's me
Oh, cool.
doing that. And also my website shows, if you've got, I think there's a lot of places that are haunted. And when I look at those shows, the hauntings and stuff like that, they'll have paranormal investigators, and they'll have like a token sensitive person that will kind of clarify what's going on with the house, right? Or the property. But then they don't end up clearing the people or the spirits, right? Because they don't realize the steps, I suppose, or that you need healing, and then that spirit needs to be reconnected away from being separate from, their loved ones.
Do they have those shows in Australia?
They do, but I do watch YouTube, and I watch a lot of American haunting.
Oh, I was going to say, you're there. They should get you on the show.
Yeah, but we haven't got a huge amount of those shows here. But yeah, I'd love to do that. But yeah, thank you so much, Jeff.
Great. All right, Chloe, thanks for coming and sharing with us. It's great seeing you again.
Okay.
And have a wonderful rest of your Sunday over there.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, take care.
See you.
Cheers.
Bye.
And a big round of applause for Chloe. Jeff Scissors. And by the way, I saw Penny there, and I think this came from Penny. If you're there, Penny, finally got your birthday card. So thank you so much for sending it. And she messaged me privately and said that she had sent it a while ago, and I don't know why it took so long to get through customs. I'm assuming this is from her. It's Royal Mail. Oops. So, and my chat's delayed. It always takes like 30 seconds for the chat to go through, but I just wanted to acknowledge her for doing something so generous and kind by mailing me something. And for those of you who weren't here, my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and I turned 21, if you want to know my age. And this has to scan to do the song. It is Penny. Oh, that's cool. You can there's a birthday card that you can scan to play. So Penny, if you're there, thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. And I don't know whether she saw that or not, but I will put it right here on my desk. And let's go to the next person. Let's see, who's in line next? Sacred Soul. Oh, okay. I think we might have figured this out. I'm bypassing you, Susie, because we were going to have a sound healing to start off with, and I think she got the audio set up. So let's bring her in first. Maybe we can all like raise our vibrations for this stream. Let me look something over here while I'm waiting for her. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. I can't get into it. I'm locked out of that. We'll see. And it's taking her for a second to get in. I have to switch out of my Facebook. And by the way, if you... I spoke earlier about that whole UFO thing, and I put a video up if you want to watch it. It's really well done, and it shows the guy in the backyard and everything. And that's on the JeffMara podcast Facebook page. All right. Now she's there. I don't know if she... Oh, okay. You can hear me from that... I didn't know you could hear me from that far away. Maybe just the camera makes you look much further away. Buffering. So do you think like you got it to work?
Yeah, I think we got it to work. At first, it could only hear our voices, and anytime I'd play, it would just block it out like background noise. But we did that thing where it leaves audio. Tell me if you can hear it.
All right. Yeah, wow.
Okay.
All right, give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. I got to pull myself back together here. All right. Try that one more time. Okay, yeah. I just hear there's also like I don't know if there's a lot of. I think it'll be okay, but there is some. There's like the bugs in the background.
Yeah, the bugs. Yeah, it's sunset right now.
That's okay. All right,
Would you like me to?
let's give it a try.
All right, want to do it for like 10 minutes?
Well,
So what I usually do is I do them outside a lot at sunset. I do it for like an hour at sunset. I'll just do it for like 10 minutes, just kind of do a little mini sound bath to let people see what it feels like. It just kind of puts you in that theta state where you're between waking and sleeping. So people normally just close their eyes, get into a relaxed situation, like lay down, not their driving, and then just listen to the vibrations, frequencies, and sounds of these are 432 quartz crystal bowls, and they are connected with the chakra system. I have the 7 chakras from root to crown, and so what I do is kind of bathe you in frequency and sound, and you can hear all the bugs, but maybe they'll hum along with us. So I'll just do it for like 10 minutes. Does that seem good?
yeah, that's great. That's great. And your setup
Okay.
looks really cool
Here we
too.
go. Thank you.
Thank you. That was amazing. Thank you so much. How is it on your end? Is it like, it must be amazing sitting there in front of all that sound.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it feels amazing. Oh, I'm over here. I can't see you. Hi. So I don't know if you could hear it with all the bugs in the background and the... Oh, there we go. Hi. How's it going?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it must be amazing sitting there in front of all of those bowls.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And I do it at a park along the ocean. And sometimes dolphins jump because we're like, they hear the sonic waves.
Wow, that's so cool. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Well, thank you so much for coming and doing that for us today.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. And I think everyone needs to learn about sound healing and sound baths. I think it's really important. It's a holistic way of healing. And, you know, people are stressed out. This really helps people, you know, align their chakras and put you in that state where you can heal and, you know, de-stress. So I just think, you know, the people in your audience obviously are into things like this. That one guy that was saying he has the voice that is like the sound healing voice. That was an amazing interview. I love that.
Oh, thank you.
But anyway, thank you.
And my wife wants to tell you look so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. She's so beautiful. I come like, and I see her, I was like, wow, she's so gorgeous. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you guys are doing. It's amazing what you guys are doing. It's so uplifting in this, you know, pretty dark world. You guys make it light. So thank you for everything.
Before we go, do you have a YouTube channel or something that people want to hear more of your music?
I don't have a YouTube channel yet, but my my company is Sacred Soul Sound Healing, and I just started it. It just kind of happened by accident because I had an experience at a sound bath, and I just was like, there's something to this. And even I think somebody from your podcast said when they went to the other side on their near death, they said that sound was something that they heard on the other side.
Yeah, some do. That's true.
Yeah, so for me, I don't know what it was. It moved me so much that I had, you know, this crazy experience, and I felt like it seemed familiar. I don't know why. It just, something resonated, and it just felt, you know, this needs to be part of my life, and I need to share this with everybody. But what was I going to say? I forget, what were you just asking? About doing Sacred Soul Sound Healing. Jess Griffin. I'm on Facebook, all social media. I'm open to the public. So Jess Griffin, Griffin, and Sacred Soul Sound Healing. I'm in Dunedin, Florida. So
okay.
You're in the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, because people were asking if you were in Hawaii.
No, I'm in Florida. I'm right next to Clearwater. It's a little beach town. It's we have Honeymoon Island. It's beautiful. We love it here. It has a really good spiritual community, and people just loving it. Like last night, I had 20 people at my park sound bath. It's just community. You just feel the love, the energy. We're raising the vibrations, and we're just trying to make everyone happy. And, you know, it's been a blessing being here. We've only moved here 2 years ago from New Hampshire. So, I mean, this is my life. It's pretty awesome. So we're really lucky. Are
you happy with the quality of the bowls that you got?
Yes. I know sometimes people get fake ones, or the hertz is wrong, because there's 440 and then there's 432. So sometimes if you want the 432, you may get the wrong one. So you got to be careful buying them online. I actually got mine on eBay, and I got a really good deal, but I got lucky. So
is it 432?
Yeah, 432 hertz.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so like most instruments, as you know, probably they're all 440.
Yeah.
Well, 432 resonates more with us, with the Earth. They call it the heartbeat of the planet, and it resonates with nature and with us. We're in 70% water, so it resonates with us as well. And I think that's why it's so easily drop into that theta state. You know, so it's just. It was a whirlwind thing for me. I just feel so amazing after I do a sound bath, when I'm doing it and when I'm, you know, taking a sound bath. And you can tell something is shifting inside. Sometimes you cry during it. Sometimes you see visions. There's all kinds of things that I had no idea that can happen, but it's kind of shifting maybe trauma that's stored in your subtle bodies, you know, in your chakra system. Say you can't speak your truth, your throat chakra might be blocked. So if they're playing, you know, you're playing the throat chakra bowl, it might help unblock it. So it's just, it's a wild thing. There's even science trying to back it, and think of like Tesla and Nikola Tesla. He said, when you want to know the secrets of the universe, you got to think of frequency, energy, and vibration. It's all, Einstein said it too. Everything is energy. And if you match the frequency of the reality that you want, there's nothing, you can't but help get that reality. So I think, it was known, it has been known, and they even found in ancient antiquities, they found in Greece and in Egypt 432 hertz instruments.
Yes.
So they knew it was for healing. So, and then if you ever heard of the Rife machine, they actually, cured cancer using frequency that only attacked the cancer cells but didn't harm, your cells. So there's a lot to it, and I think people are starting to see that doing these type of things can be more beneficial than just going, the route of Western medicine. So, but I don't know. I love it.
I say this all the time, and the regulars here will know this, that it's like one podcast leads into another, and they're so interconnected.
Yes.
And literally today, this morning, I recorded one with a recording singer that's sung with Deepak Chopra's album and Krishna Das and all the stuff, and she does spiritual music, and she does it in 432. And so in this podcast you'll see coming out this week, first we talk about her spiritual journey, but then we get into all this music stuff, and we start talking about recording in 432 versus 440. And so it's so interesting to have us.
Yes,
when you watch that, you'll see how it's all in the same day for me.
Yes, I'm so excited to watch this.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you, Jess.
Continue doing what you're doing. Hi, Maura. Thank you.
She says hi.
Take care.
All right, well,
bye.
thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And a big round of applause for Jess. That was amazing. And next up is Susie Swan. So let's see what Susie Swan has to share with us this evening. And then we've got Zach and Sci-Phone. It's S-iPhone. Which S for the first initial of a name could be any name, right? Susie, hello? Can you hear me? Hello, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. Your volume's a little low.
Oh, really?
That's getting better. Maybe you can just, I don't know. Maybe it's me. We'll see. If the audience complains, then we'll know that it's too low.
Okay. I'll do my best. I'll try to keep my voice up. Is this good?
Yeah. So what do you have?
All right?
Yeah, what do you have to share with us?
Well, thank you. Sorry, it's been a little while. I'm having some, personal issues with my health and things like that. So
I'm hoping you're doing
I try
better.
not to freeze up if I can help it.
And
I mean mentally, But I promised you that we would talk about my alien implant.
Oh, I don't remember. I forgot about that. Is this energetic implant, or you have something physical under your skin that you can feel?
Well, it was physical. I no longer have it.
You got it removed.
I kind of want to start from the beginning a little bit here, because, really my pursuit of the supernatural and mysteries and all of this actually stems from my early childhood. I was born in 1970, and I grew up in San Jose, California. And, my parents were young. They got married. They had me, and then they had my brother 2 years later. So I had a little brother. So, and we lived in a small suburban 3-bedroom house. And I had my own room. So we each had our own room. Now, so I was about 4, maybe close to 5 in that range. And I never actually really had any difficulty sleeping at night until all of a sudden something was happening to me that I didn't understand, and nor could I explain. So I would get the feeling that in the middle of the night, multiple someones were coming in the room and doing something. So I really didn't have any context because I was so little. And sometimes I would get up and look out the window and I would see things and it would scare me. So I just, would try to be cool about it. But the thing that was crazy was there was a period of time when at 2 o'clock in the morning, I would wake up and I would have this horrific bloody nose. So of course I'm screaming, calling for my mother. And we figured children get bloody noses. Now, the odd part is that my brother, who slept in a separate bedroom, also was waking up at the exact same time with a bloody nose. And so what would happen was this went on for at least a week. Like every other night, we each would have a bloody nose. And so eventually I told my mother, I says, look, I'm just a little kid. And I said, Mom, don't you find it odd that your two kids who are sleeping in separate rooms are having bloody noses at the same time on the same night? And she really just kind of brushed it off, So I really just figured it's a thing that happens to children. So, I started telling my mom that I was afraid, leave the door open a crack. So ultimately what happened was I call it the dream because, again, I was a small child. I didn't have the context for what was happening. So I called it the dream. Something happened to me. And all I could remember when I woke up was the feelings. So I had no visual remembrance. I could just feel the feelings. And the feeling was so awful, Jeff. It was like I wanted to rip all my clothes off. I didn't want anything to touch me. I could feel like almost now I could refer to it like, let's say, static electricity. It was like, or electrons or something was just crawling over my skin. And it was the most god awful feeling. So I would rip the blankets off and just lay there. Now, I knew that as a small child, my memory was being wiped out. And I was so angry, Jeff, that I yelled it. And I said to myself, if this ever happens to me again, I'm going to remember it. I made it a goal of mine. I'm like, I'm going to remember this. So moving along, as we grew up,
let me stop you there. What was happening to you that you were forced to forget?
That's where I'm going right now.
Oh, okay.
So my parents got divorced. And my brother and I live with my dad. We moved to San Jose. We got another little house, a 3-bedroom house. We each had our own room. So at that point, I had the dream again. Now at this time, I would be like 13 years old, approximately. And Jeff, I did it. I forced myself. I was like, you are going to pull this out of your brain and you are going to remember what happened, right? And so the best that I could do, and I was shocked I was able to do it at all, but the best that I could piece together. Now I'm going to try to describe this to you. This is what's really funny. I don't have a context to describe this. The best I could do at the time anyway, the first thing that I could remember is being inside of, I'll have to call it a spaceship. I don't have any reference. Being inside of a spaceship. Okay. And what I remember about it is the paneling. I could remember seeing the seams going up. And I mean, I couldn't tell you how deep this thing went. It was just enormous, but it was very clinical. It was very metallic. Not much to see. And then the second thing I remember are these, again, I have to use words that I don't know what else to use, maybe creatures or aliens or something, some kind of entities, okay? And they're very small, and I was a small child, so even for 13, these creatures were very small. And Jeff, they were wrapping me up. They would start at my feet, and they were wrapping me like a mummy, okay? And the best thing that I could refer to it would be toilet paper. I know that sounds ridiculous. Like, okay, they're wrapping me like from head to toe like this. I don't understand why. I'm freaking out. I'm afraid I'm going to suffocate. And then the third memory was, I can't even describe it other than being inside of Jello and feeling like I'm going to be squeezed to death or suffocate or something. So very quickly, I'll tell you that I was shocked that I was able to even remember that much. And I had no way to describe any of it. So I tried to do the best that I could. And what was fascinating was many years later, I found some books, and there's a famous case. I don't know how to say her last name. I'm going to say it the way I call it, the Betty Anderson affair, or Betty Andriazon, however you want to pronounce her name. But she had drawings. That's what I was looking for. I was hoping to show you the drawings, and I'm not joking with you. She drew a picture of herself being wrapped up like a mummy, just like I just told you, except she referred to it as a ribbon. And I thought a ribbon was a much better reference than a piece of toilet paper, but I didn't know what else to call it. So it was like, wow, the ribbon. And I said, oh my God, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, Jeff. Then she drew another photo, or another picture. And, you know, I was telling you, like I was in some kind of goopy jello. She drew that also. And that made me sick. I was like, oh, what is that? She was standing like somewhere with this goopy stuff dripping on her. And I thought, oh no. And the third thing she drew was the inside of this UFO with the panels. So that was really strange to me. Now, there's a lot going on in here, so I'll have to probably continue the story, but
right.
I'll
I was gonna say, due to the, because we only have so much time, and I've got people waiting on me. I'd like to fast forward to when did you discover the implant?
And that's what I'm going to tell you right now. So next time we talk, if you want more details about it, I can, because believe me, I got a lot to say.
All right.
But okay, so what happened was, so then after all of this happened, there was a lot of more activity in the house, and it was scaring me so bad that I was a teenager and I was embarrassed. I would go jump in bed and sleep next to my dad because I was scared and I was so embarrassed. I was like, this is ridiculous. Okay, so well, one night I wake up, and Jeff, I'm like this. There was so much blood. So I had a bloody nose, and the blood was just, it was gushing out of me, gushing. And then I thought, well, what? So I was trying to rationalize it. I was only 13 or 14. I'm trying to rationalize this. I'm like, and my hands are just covered. And I noticed that there's something here, right? There's something. And I'm just trying to blow it out. I get a tissue. I'm thinking, you know, what's up my nose? What the heck's going on? So I got so scared, Jeff, I really actually thought I was going to bleed to death. And my dad, he gets up at 3 a.m. to go to work. The last thing I want to do is wake him up. But finally, I got so desperate in my mind, I said, Susie, you're going to die. You're going to bleed to death. You have to wake up your father, right? And the second that I did that, whatever was here, it's almost like it heard me. And it went up my nose. It was a metal ball, and it went down my throat. It was very, very disgusting. And I don't mean to be disgusting like that, but it was a metal ball, and it was slimy, and it went down my throat. And then the bloody nose immediately ceased. And the irony is the majority of any contact after that point also ceased. So basically that's it. I can't prove that. I do occasionally can feel the scar. There's like a scoop mark inside of my nostril, and it comes and goes, and I can feel it. And so that's my implant that.
Well, thank you for sharing it with us. Before we go, do you see UFOs?
You know, that's the most astonishing thing. I've seen a million things, but a bona fide UFO, no. I've seen some things, but it's not good enough for me to say yes, you know. But like a spacecraft or anything like that, no. That's the only thing I do not have under my belt.
Well, still, it was a great experience for you to share for us, and we thank you for it, Susie.
Well, thank you for listening. And like I said, if you would like to hear more, I can tell you some more information next time if you like.
Sure, come on back.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeff.
All right, thank you, Susie. Have a great rest of your weekend.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. And a big round of applause for Susie. And, whoops, before I go to the next one, I just want to let you know, if you're new here and you want to join us live, if you want to come on and share with us, we'd be happy to have you. And the way to do that is to go to zoom.com and click join a meeting. And once you're there, it'll ask you for the room ID and the passcode. And those are below in the description. So it's real easy to do. You join me, and then you'll see in this line that you'll be there in line with me. So we'd be happy to have you. So if you're sitting there thinking, how do I get on? That's how you do it. And either way, also in the description below are links to other things. Our website is still under construction. We had it, we took it back down, but so far it's looking really cool, and hopefully it'll be done within a week. There's should be a link to our Indie Eclipse channel, which is just Indie E's, they're cutting out the clip parts. There is a link to my Facebook page and then my personal Facebook profile. And you will see that Mara is my beloved wife. My last name is not Mara, it's Reynolds. So if you want to friend me, I'm just accepting friends until it runs out, which I think there's a max of 5,000. And then there is a link to our music channel, which I actually posted my first meditative type of music. It's kind of like a droning sitar thing, and so it's actually a tambura, but you can hear that too. And it's something to meditate to. It's nothing like, a melody of a song to listen to. So it's just something that's relaxing, so you can hear that. And I don't know what else is there. I think that's basically it. Oh, and probably our Discord. I haven't chalked that up in a long time, but if you want to check out our Discord is free. You go to discord.com, you sign up, and then you come here and get the link to my personal room. It's kind of like a chat room, but different, but better. And you can hang out with like 500 other people, and you can post whatever. You can share memes or post videos or whatever. And so that's kind of like a way for the community to hang out. And on that note, let's bring in Zach. Zach.
Hi.
Wow, we get you 2 weeks in a row. That's amazing.
I know, that's the first time, and this time I haven't drunk any whiskey, so
You're not
you're
not hungover today. Although you
Look at
didn't
my
see
amazing haircut, Jeff. Look at it. It's just 2 spikes of hair. Have you ever seen such a haircut?
not since the 80s.
Well, it's back in 2023.
That's cool. Do you actually pull it up like I do?
I do, but what I'd like to do is have I like crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to put like a braid in each of them, and then put wire in the braid, and then have like all strange, like an antennae,
Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll get some signals. Maybe the aliens will communicate with you.
Yeah, like a radio signal.
There you go. Well, what do you have to share with us this week?
Well, I don't know how to do it best, but I don't know if this works, but
yeah, I hear you. It works.
Yeah. I did go onto your Discord. Oh, is it still? Hang on.
You're freezing, but your audio is working. There you go. So you went to Discord, you joined.
Yep.
Did you hang out with people there? Was there anybody doing?
Yeah. The reason why I just froze just now, I think, is because I was trying to send a video on the Zoom chat, because I went to Discord and I sent a video there, and I was really hoping to be able to show that video to you.
Oh, well, I'm guilty of not going there that often. I set it up for everybody, but I don't. But I think you can message me there, and then I'll go look for the video.
Yeah, I mean, so can I not send something on chat here? I thought I could send something on chat here.
Yeah, you can send it on chat here. At the bottom of your Zoom, it says chat. I won't look at it now, but I can look at it later.
Well, I don't know why. Anyway, so it's on a Discord, and the reason why I wanted to show it is because I once did a meditation, and there were these amazing flashes of white light and orbs that surrounded me.
Wow. Yeah, I'd like to know the link to that. So if I did it, I would maybe experience the same.
Yeah, well, actually, Do you mean the link to the meditation? Yeah. Actually, the meditation that I did was just a following breath meditation. So all I did was just be present with my breath. And it's really weird when you do that. I don't know if you've ever done it before, but when you do that, you're present with your breath, and then all of a sudden you start going.
I was wondering
really
like
weird.
that, if you actually, when you start being present to your breath, can you relax and just breathe, or do you start speeding up and slowing down and start manipulating your breath?
It's really wild. So you just go, and then all of a sudden you go, and then you just have like peace, and then it comes back, and it's just really strange. Like this sort of fast breathing happens to you, and you can get feelings of like bliss and peace. And then you have like loads of emotions come up. And this one time, I just had this feeling, I should really film this for some reason. So I filmed it, and there were these amazing flashes and orbs of light. Really interesting.
Wow. Yeah, that would have been great if you, I had a guest. I don't know if you saw her. I'm sure most of the people saw her, or some of them at least. But there was a woman that could actively call in orbs, and then she'd put her hand up, and they would like fly, and like she was high-fiving orbs. Did you see that one?
No, that sounds so amazing.
Yeah, and she would set up like, I don't know what kind of camera she set up in the room. She set up, I don't know if it was an infrared camera or what, but she set up a camera somewhere in the room so it would film all that. So
that sounds so American.
My point is,
like high five.
Yeah. So my point is, if you could get that camera, set it in your room, and then go do the meditation and see if, orbs show up in the video.
I wouldn't high five them though, because I'm British, so I'd shake their hand.
Well, you could put your hair up and maybe tell them to come touch your antennas.
I could have one on each spike.
There you go.
Yeah, well, can I speak about one more thing?
You may.
Okay. Well, it's a difficult thing to speak about, I think, namely because I've noticed that when sexual topics come up on your show, then it gets removed. So, what's the reason for that?
Well, I want the videos to remain advertiser friendly.
Ah, right.
So sometimes sometimes videos may, a video things may happen to a video if it doesn't remain so. So I overcompensate.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like just to be on the safe side.
I overcompensate. People complain, but that's okay. I mean, it's not a perfect system, and that's just is what it is. And I overcompensate because I don't want problems with my videos. So I'm sure it's kind of, people in the comments will leave. They'll think I'm, against that topic or against that vocabulary or the words, and it's nothing to me personally. It's just that, like I said, I'm just trying to keep the video within limits.
Well, I think that this conversation will not affect your advertising, but if it does, then I suppose you can sort of do something in post, but I really don't think it will. So shall I go ahead?
I don't know. I don't know what vocabulary you're going to use. And just put it this way, if you know you're going to go somewhere, then I have to take the video. One of the beauties of doing Saturday nights is I do not edit, and it gives us a break for one night. And if something is said, and I don't know if you were here like a year ago, someone kept bombing my live stream with video pornography. They would show, as soon as they count, it was playing movies, and I had finally figured out how to stop it, but I didn't know how to stop it. And so I ultimately had to delete the video or re-edit it, and then I just took a break and stopped even doing the live stream for about a month. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that remember that. So,
well,
I don't know what you're going to say, what you're going to talk about. But that's what I'm saying. If you do something, you can just put it that you may give us extra work.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen. And if it does happen, then I'll give you a big, what's it called? A tribute, or I can't remember what it's called.
No.
But I don't think it will. Anyhow, so what I wanted to say is, what I've noticed is that there seems to be just a connection between this kind of spiritual state and then I suppose, when you have a relationship with someone, then you really are experiencing very often love, aren't you? And so it's just so interesting to me because on one hand, relationships can really take you out of doing what's sensible. And you can think to yourself, my goodness, what on earth was I just thinking of, for example? And then it can also really connect you very deeply to yourself and to others. And what I've noticed is that the peaceful sensation that you get with meditation, or swimming in the ocean, or being in nature, there's something that's similar to that that's to be found in relationships and contact in relationships. And I just find it so interesting because it seems to be so split, seems to be so, I think there's the idea of love, and then there's the idea of lust. And it seems to be, the light and the dark, and the right and the wrong, and all of this. And I just find that so fascinating. And I wanted to mention it because I just wonder if your other viewers have comments on that subject as well, because I'm very interested in it.
I think I know what you're talking about, and I'm not sure if I am, but I had a podcast, and I wish I remember what number it is, because I don't. It's probably 200-300, somewhere around there, 300-400. But this guy said that there are things that near-death experiencers will not talk about publicly, but only with each other privately. And what he was saying, and I'm trying to use the right words here, but basically, for a lot of them, the experience of popping out of your body is something close to ecstasy, if you get my words, if you get my thoughts.
Yeah.
And,
so I've not experienced that
and
myself.
I've had
but
not only him. I've not only had him say it. I've had at least one or two more. And but the fascinating thing was also that he said if you get, two indie ears in a corner talking privately, they'd probably say, "Did you experience this?" And they'll say, "Yes, I did." "Did you?" "Yes, I did." So, I mean, you're in the realm of creation.
Yes, true.
And so it's pretty fascinating, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I really think that we managed that very well.
We did.
The vocabulary that we used was fantastic.
Without any beeps. That's like
can I just say it was so funny to watch the sound bath. I really like watching the sound bath.
Yeah,
and it was
cool.
So funny because the lady had a pool as well.
Yeah.
So I thought, you could have a bath at the same time, you have a bath in the water and then have a sound bath simultaneously.
She needs to set up her. Yeah, imagine if she had a floating setup where she's in the pool, but she could be doing the bowls.
You'd be so clean after that, wouldn't you? You get sound and water, physical, be real experience. Hey, I remember going once underwater in a spa and they were playing music. Isn't that amazing? So you can hear the music under the water.
Oh, that is amazing. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you would think it would be kind of a muffled sound, wasn't it? Or was it clear?
It just sounded like different, but it wasn't muffled. No, it was classical music that they played. And it was really interesting. You could just hear it through the water.
It was like maybe underwater speakers.
I guess so.
Yeah. I mean, if you had a lot of noise or music, if someone was DJing at a pool party and they had the speakers above the water and then you go under the water, you could probably hear some kind of sound. But I think what you're saying is the speakers were in the pool as well.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. I just remember thinking, oh, this is interesting. I kept pushing myself under the water to listen to the music because I was so interested in it. I think you're just supposed to lie in a relaxed way on top of it and float and listen, but I kept sort of dunking under to listen to it. Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, brother, I got to get rolling. I got 4 people in the waiting room, but thank you for coming and joining us. We really appreciate you, and have a great Sunday.
And you too, Jeff. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. And that was Zach. Big round of applause for Zach. And next up is Sci-Phone. Or is it S-iPhone? I'm not sure. We are going to find out here shortly. So that was interesting. That was the first time someone ever asked me about that. Out of all these years, somebody asked me that. And it's so fascinating. I want to just talk, I'll talk about this in between the next guest because there's something I wanted to talk about too that I just recorded with somebody, and she told me that you should talk about this. So, who there? Hey, is this Elle?
Yeah, it is.
Hey,
Hi.
Elle, how's it going?
Good.
How you been?
Pretty good. Sorry, my tech savvy is not in order today. I've tried to change that S iPhone
that's
thing.
Okay. I'm just kidding around.
And
I guess it should have been L iPhone.
Right.
So what have you been up to? It's been a while since we've seen you.
Oh, yes. And hi, Mara.
She says hi. Now I want to let everybody know, do you remember what podcast number you were?
No, I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but Elle was on our pod. I guess it was probably within the last 100, probably within the last 3 months or so. Something about that.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's pretty wild to think about. I didn't even think about the numbers. If I'm doing them every day, it's almost like 30 a month.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know how you guys do it. That's
We're
like amazing.
AI, I guess. So, now you had an NDE, right? And I'm just trying to remember what if you want to give us 1 minute of your NDE so we can get people to go watch that if they haven't. Can you just tell everybody quickly what happened?
Yeah. So I had a medical incident in 2015. And long story short, because I know that there's a time limitation here, in my NDE, I actually traveled off planet. I went to another planet. I traveled through space. I had complete organ failure and went into sepsis. So my body was completely shutting down. But during that time, I did travel out of my body several times, including to space and another planet. I also had 3 guides that showed me different things that were happening in the world in either this dimensional timeline or a different timeline, and just kind of educated me about things happening behind the scenes in the world, and also just placed me in other conscious things like plants, a fish, tree, to learn about experiencing love from a different perspective and learning that other living things are conscious. They're not just sitting there, they're actually, conscious beings as well. And I also, close to the end of my time, I also saw Jesus in a light body form. And that's essentially the summary of my NDE.
Did you, and this may not be you, but for some reason it just popped in my mind. Did you give us any reference to something happening in the future?
Yeah,
in the near
I
future
did.
with aliens?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Well,
where are we on? Where are we with that? I mean, I don't know if you.
I'm actually
I'm so sorry. Let me just add this, and then I'll let you answer real quick. But
okay.
at the beginning of the show tonight, I mentioned all the stuff that's going down in Las Vegas, and I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Mm,
And
mm-hmm.
so maybe if that's what you're talking about, or I don't know.
Yeah, I've recently become aware, actually, after the show, after your show that I did, that was in April. What I had said was that I felt something big was going to happen in April. And I was hoping that it would have to do with aliens, but I wasn't sure. Somebody emailed me on the 24th and said, "Have you seen this?" And it was a whistleblower that came out. And so a very prominent one that was proven to be a military operative, high level, and said, yes, we do definitely have, we're reverse engineering craft, things like that. This is real. They do exist. We are working with them, things like that. And, I guess because I've had this in my mind and in my heart for so long, whenever I hear things that I was told was by my guides that was going to come true, when they happen, I've kind of developed this kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, that. So we know that's happening. Moving right along to the next thing.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Before you go, I just forgot that
What?
all that stuff from Vegas that just came out in the news actually
Mm-hmm.
happened in April. But
Oh, it did.
Yeah, it happened in April, but they're releasing it now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's cool. Thanks for telling me that.
If you go in the JeffMara podcast Facebook
Mm-hmm.
page, I posted this video
Mm-hmm.
and it goes through all this. It has all the police footage and the guy being interviewed that saw them in this backyard and said
Wow.
he said the aliens are like 8 to 10 feet tall.
Right. Yeah.
And
I haven't gotten a chance to delve fully into
yeah, so
everything.
I just
So thanks for telling me that.
that
I have
happened in April
a daughter that's, wow, I have a daughter that's going off to college soon. Things are hectic. So I'm actually getting pieces of news information from other people. And so thank you for sharing that with me. I'll go there to your spot and check that out.
Before you go, and maybe you're going to say this anyways, but have your guides giving you any future alien activity that's going to be happening?
Yes, this is just the beginning of the major stuff. There's major, meaning that there is agreement basically to little by little disclose. So, and one of the other things I said on your podcast was that by or before the end of the year, there was going to be another major event. So this is kind of building towards that. So there is going to be more. And all the more reason, like what I said before, for people to not freak out about this. They've been here for a while. They're not coming here to kill us. Don't believe any type of fear mongering, stuff about all of that. Just adjust your mind. And that's one of the reasons why I said I liked what a couple of the other people that you just had on mentioned meditation, and then the woman talking about sound baths and frequency. Frequency is also something that I experienced in my near-death experience. They're super important. So it's important to really delve in spiritually, meditate, do sound bath, work with frequency. These things will kind of help you to kind of prepare and transition your mind and your soul to accepting some of these things that seem super abnormal, which, if you think about it, are not that abnormal. It's more abnormal to think that we're the only ones in the universe. That's abnormal. So,
yeah. And I just want to kind of piggyback to what you're saying, that when you watch the video, they have the 911 call And from what I understand, he's on the phone with the police while looking at the aliens. He says, I'm terrified. I'm looking at him. But like you're saying, they're not attacking him or anything. They're just standing there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right. And I
and
think he's describing tall grays.
probably, yeah, I don't know. But he did say,
Mhm.
they had big eyes, but it had a big mouth, which I thought the
Mm.
Greys didn't have a mouth.
Yeah, but he could have been mistaken about that because I did hear that he said something about what he was trying to describe was some type of cloaking, which, we could kind of logically see that there would be some type of cloaking technology because, they don't want to out themselves completely. They know that we're not as familiar with other species, things like that. So he could have been mistaken about some of the details, but it doesn't mean that what he saw was not real. So from what the little bit that I've heard, and I like my disclaimer is that, like I said, I haven't fully delved into all of the info, and I'm going to go on your page and look more deeply. But from what the little that I've heard, he sounds legitimate to me. So,
Yeah.
and also, this too, that people who have had NDEs, they come back with like a knowing. My knowing is telling me that he's true in what he's saying.
So many NDEers also see UFOs. A lot. A lot of, at least a lot of my guests. And I probably, put up more NDE podcasts than anybody. And it's a significant amount. I don't have the numbers. Maybe PD Pete might, because PD Pete's doing research for us. But I'm kind of theorizing that if you have an NDE and you cross the veil, there's something about you energetically, something about you that they can locate you. You're obvious to them from the other side. Maybe you, as an NDE, or somehow your energy sticks out among the rest of us. And that's possibly why so many these NDEers see UFOs when the rest of us don't.
I venture to say that that's true based on, since my NDE, I've gone through, for example, TSA, and my body is giving off electrical charge. And then I followed up with a cardiologist, and the cardiologist was saying, wow, your electrical output is very wonky. That was the word that he used. And I said, what do you mean wonky? He said, I don't know. It's just, there's a lot there. But even before my NDE, I would go sometimes and get Reiki from a practitioner. And I kept on hearing from completely unrelated practitioners that my energy or my life force was incredibly long or incredibly strong. And I kind of just took that with a grain of salt because I didn't really have any reference of proof as to whether that was the case. But I did find it interesting that completely unrelated Reiki practitioners kept on telling me that. So I just kind of took mental note of it. It wasn't until my NDE where, to me, that was proof of something happening, of some type of energetic thing going on.
Have your guides disclosed to you that at any point, especially in the near future, that ETs will be walking around the planet fully disclosed, just like Star Wars or Star Trek? We'll finally have everybody here, wide open.
Do you mean that they'll be engaged in the culture with us and things like that? They haven't said that, but that's the logical progress based on what I have been told, meaning that I've been told that they're benevolent. The majority of them are benevolent. And I've been told that they're going to be revealed, and they're going to be commonly observed by, the majority of people. So the natural progression of that is maybe not in 5 to 7 years, but in 10, 15 years, that they'll be integrated into our culture as well. And I believe that some people might end up going off planet to their cultures as well.
That's amazing. What do you see in the near future? I mean, you mentioned
near meaning before.
Well, you mentioned, let's say by the end of the year, there's going to be some big event. You think it will be bigger than what we just had?
Yes, I do.
What do you think? What do you think an event like that would look like?
I can tell you what it will feel like, because that's how I'm given, the perception of what's going to happen. It's going to be where people cannot doubt that there are other species in the universe. And there will be some people who may have a hard time accepting it, but it has to do with just prejudices and, cultural things, but it's going to be in a manner that you can't deny it. They're there. And, we know that they're there. People will have a lot of questions. People will be intrigued. People will, there'll be people on both sides of things, that don't want them here, and people who do want them here. And there'll be some that want to go with them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. There'll be some earthlings that say no aliens allowed.
Yeah. So, but the biggest thing, like I said before, is, and you're already talking about it. You guys are already sharing a lot about it, which is really important, is people need to start really spiritually and mentally being in that place where they can not only handle this, but accept what's happening, because we ourselves have to kind of open ourselves up, and we ourselves have to be able to manage all of the stress and changes that are coming with that. So meditation is really important. Somebody emailed me a few days ago asking for some help with their spiritual journey. So to that person, they need to let go of some obsessions that they have, and they need to focus on love, read a book about love, and they need to let go of something that happened in regards to love that's holding them back and keeping them more physically present in things instead of spiritually open. So,
Well, I hope the person was here to receive that.
I told them that I would mention something, because they wanted me to call, but I don't call people. So I said that I would respond. So
cool. Well,
so hopefully they're there.
Before I run, because I've got other people waiting, is there anything else that you would like to share?
Just that this is a really beautiful community.
It is.
I appreciate what you and Mara are doing, and you guys are doing more important work than you realize. You're like, you're laying the foundation of opening people's minds and hearts, and that everyone here should just continue to, on their journey to grow and remain open.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And my wife says we love you.
Oh, we love you too.
All right, Elle. Well, listen, I'm sorry. It was a great chatting and catching up with you again. I'm so happy to see you.
You too.
We'll have to keep our eyes open for December. I hope you don't stay away that long. It's a long time, but come back and visit us.
I will. And thanks again for telling me about, that this happened in April. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
so.
It's interesting that now it's really pretty cool. It's a great confirmation.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well,
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, she's already gone. And a big round of applause for Elle. So I was going to mention this earlier, and my guest I had said I should mention this. And so my guests from time to time will offer me free services, or even like even often if like I would put a link to their product, I could get a percentage of that, you know what I mean, like a, I don't know what you would call that, but anyways, I thank the guest, but I informed that I remain separate from all my guests. And people offer me stuff and I refuse it. And it's actually cool stuff that I'd like to take advantage of, but I refuse because I want to keep some separation between me and the guests. And if you look at my videos or our videos, at the bottom of the videos, it even says we don't endorse any of our guests' products or services. And so, so that, you know, that's kind of where I am with all that stuff. You know, I mean, like I said, I just try to maintain a separation. And so I thought about it. My guest said I should tell you guys. I think I've said it before, but I don't know. I thought I would just say it again before we jump into the next person. And on that note, let's bring in Michael, the Dream Detective. Let's see what's going on, what he has to share with us this evening. Oh, before I get started though, before Michael comes in, he's on his way here, but I need to acknowledge two people. Hey Michael, give me 1 second. First, I want to say thank you to J. Almo. Thank you so much for that super thanks. I really appreciate it. And it says hype. And I also want to say thank you to PD Pete for your super thanks. I appreciate it. And he said that we've just completed their 150th time-stamped episode. So Pete and has been so kind to spearhead this project for us that they're time-stamping all the different subjects within the NDEs. So it's like research what they're doing. And so we'll have this giant collection of data. And they're still at it, which is so awesome. And I'm very grateful for all the work that he and others are doing together. And on that note, Michael, can you hear me? Are you still here?
Hey.
Okay. How are you today,
Good evening,
Michael?
Jeff.
Yeah, Michael.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello. What do you have to share with us?
Well, first of all, because I think I'll go relatively quick. I try to keep my pace. I do want to say, like, I want to celebrate with you for a moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being human beings, the struggles that we go through. And what you just said, like NDEs, I try to explain to people. I'm a believer in the word real deep and a whole bunch of other stuff, like, this stuff going on with me. But I definitely would testify that hearing NDEs it just changes you really deep. You get really sure, there's other experiences on the inside, but yeah, so it is really wonderful to have that data and be able to present it to the world.
And what we're going to be doing is, let's say if somebody had, video after video after video after video, when I was on the other side, I saw 10-foot angels. And then someone else, and on my ND, I saw 10. So if you have that repetition over and over, it'll really kind of drive this home, how awesome it is.
Yes. Yeah. And eventually, last thing I'll say about it, eventually, this is actually the type of subjects we want to be teaching kids in school, right? Mm-hmm. Shout out to creative learning. Mm-hmm. Seriously, think about those sort of things, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, wonderful. Good to see you, Jeff. I just, it's been like 2 weeks. So I was like, you know what? I like to come on. It feels like, of course, I'm publicizing what I do, but I also like to connect with everyone, to present, things kind of, I really like it best when I blow people's minds in terms of interpretation, which does happen. So I wasn't totally not sure, but I was thinking about a dream to share from my book, This one is actually called The Devouring Spirit, and I'm going to share it, and then I'm just going to talk a little bit about it. I wasn't sure, what dream to share and what I wanted to talk about, but somebody confirmed it, like in the chat. That's kind of how I'm going, following intuitively. They actually mentioned this idea of like demons I think when you had the person on a little while ago. So I'm just going to read it. It's short, and then I'm going to talk about it generally. Okay. This is definitely one of my favorite dreams. A friend of mine, her name is Dazzling One, while we were in the chat, she told me this dream. She said, in the dream, I was in the master bedroom of my parents' house, specifically in the old bedroom in her parents' house. Her parents were not there, but some strangers were there with her. Then suddenly a very creepy, naked spirit woman walks into the room. One of the men sees her and he goes over to her to touch her, but as he comes near her, she grabs him and just devours him. Then the creepy spirit woman grabs the dreamer. And the dreamer, my friend Daz, she begins to pray in response to the woman grabbing her. As she's praying, she sees an angel arrive, and then she watches them, and there's this battle going on that she's watching between the creepy spirit woman and the angel. And she asked the angel, she goes, why is it such a struggle? And suddenly everything pauses, and the angel turns to her and says, you must choose not to be given over to her. All right, so just that.
All right, so what does all that mean?
So first of all, was that relatively clear? Did we get a decent picture in our minds of what was going on there?
I think so. The chat's going to be a little bit delayed.
Okay. So actually, Jeff, a dream like this, I actually almost feel like the meaning is obvious. Like the surface general meaning, I kind of consider it obvious. Like if I asked almost anybody just the basic, a little bit, just on the surface, they would immediately know what it's about. The deeper thing is that every single detail counts, and that there are some implications of what is going on here in terms of how our dreams interact with us spiritually. Because one of the things that's said there, the thing that sticks out most, we know, is the line at the end, right? The very line at the end is, the angel turning her, you must choose not to be given over to this type of spirit, right? Okay, so to get the full picture of that, though, what we want to, we will break down a few of the symbols. Again, every single symbol, every single detail has a meaning and is telling us something. It represents parts of us. It's like a law of correspondence. So the house is where the dreamer is in. This is her soul. Okay, and that, as a standard, that's what we have. Now, the fact that, so you understand this better, the fact that she's in the bedroom means like it's an issue of the heart, because the bedroom is the heart of the house. Okay. Now, the fact that it's her old parents' bedrooms means that her heart used to be influenced by her parents' traditions, but it's no longer there. So it's been taken out. Okay. Then this creepy spirit woman comes in. So you're actually seeing what's happening. It's really awesome. It's creepy though. So once she says, the dreamer is explaining that a parental tradition, that influence has been removed, then the naked spirit woman comes in. Now the naked spirit woman minimally represents lust, right? Like as an essence of what we're talking about, the spirit that's there, it's lust. And certainly provable by what we're about to see, that there's these men there. Again, that's not an accident, right? So sometimes we, like when we want to do what we're going to do, we push out our parents' influences. So there's these men. So then one of the men goes up to the naked spirit woman, and she, which is certainly the most powerful moment, the most powerful imagery, right? She takes him and she completely devours him. So he went to touch her. This is certainly the symbol. Now we're talking for all of us. This could be speaking to all of us about the power of lust, its ability to devour us. A good example would be pornography, right? That ravages people's minds and, all sorts of things like that. So is this making sense so far?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just a little bit more. So what we are seeing at the dreamer's level, if we think about it like that, is most likely, because she called it the creepy spirit woman, is that she has a feeling inside of her of sexual desire, and she finds it creepy. Okay, so that this is my sense after studying it a long time. So that got manifested as this other. Remember, it's still in her mind. Okay. And that point that I'm making, if that's true, it should be confirmed by what happens at the end. Well, one thing we know that's happening there is that there's a battle, right? There's a battle where a person has this, like, where lust is going on, and then it's fighting. And this person was a Christian, a very well-known Christian, and they were battling. And so like you have this idea of these two forces battling one another. And I think that's very relatable for most people in this modern age. So I'll close it by saying the ending of it is, it competes with that moment, with the devouring moment, for being the most powerful. Because one of the things that I have had the privilege of working with is interpreting dreams that are clearly sending a message. And this one, it's like it's explaining how to overcome lust. And the person's like, why is it a struggle? And they get an answer, an answer that when they come out of their dream, when they awake, now they have that in this realm. In a sense, they're also accountable for it. So I hope that was a good example, got people's brains stirred up.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Enjoyed.
That was interesting. Michael, thank you for coming and sharing that with us. For those of you that don't know, his book is The Dream Detective. Your YouTube channel is Creative Learning.
Yeah, and I do a lot of stuff on IG as well. Creative, which is also Creative Learning New York.
All right, Michael, thank you, and have a great rest of your weekend, bud.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Mara. It's been a fun show.
All right, take care. And a big round of applause for Michael. And let's bring in Natalie. It's been a busy night tonight.
Hi,
Natalie,
how are
hello.
you?
Good. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice
I'm great,
to meet
thanks.
you. All right, where are you
Nice
zooming
to meet
from?
you. I am zooming in from Canada. I'm in
Cool.
Ontario.
All right, awesome. For a while, probably last month, I had a ton of guests from Canada. I don't know if you were a regular viewer, but probably like half, 5 out of 10 were from Canada. It does that sometimes. It's like it goes regional. Like all of a sudden I'll have a bunch of guests from Australia, and then it'll all of a sudden a whole bunch of guests from Arizona, and then one time it was like UK, and then it was Canada most recently. So you're following up on your fellow Canadians.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I also find that with clientele as well, that I'll get a group that come in with a certain particular subject or like characteristic, and I find that it goes with the shifting of cycles, whether it's like the moon cycle or something. It just cycles through. A bunch of grief will come up, or cycle through a bunch of sorrow. It just seems like there's a theme to things.
Right. Well, what do you have to share with us this evening?
Wow. Well, thank you for inviting me. This is perfect. So what I wanted to share with you is I have had, I've been guided to come forward and just talk a little bit about light language. Um, so I guess I'll start with a little bit about who I am and why I came forward. And if that's okay with you,
That sounds great. I mean, how did you start? I don't know if you would consider it channeling light language, but how did you start communicating with that?
Absolutely. So what happened with me was I was always sort of in the process of awakening, and then I would have to have it shut off because it just wasn't safe in the environment that I was starting to ascend in. It just wasn't the right time. And so once I have 4 children, and once I had the last of my 4 children, which he's now just turned 2, that's when things were like, okay, it's all the pieces are in place and now's the time. And they kind of just kickstarted this crazy, like accelerated what should have happened over the last probably 30 years slowly. It just like just turned on the switch and away it went. So what happened was I had this like pain in my shoulder. It was like chest shoulder area, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I was kept thinking maybe it's chakra, maybe it's just some clearing or something that needed to happen, because I knew about like the spiritual side of things because I had already been working some emotion code stuff. I've been a licensed trauma therapist, so the two worlds kind of blur where there's trauma in your body and then the spiritual, they all kind of have this connection, right? So I was working the trauma therapy side and kind of like Dolores Cannon discovered like down the rabbit hole and discovered there's past lives, there's past life regression, like what's going on. Had my last child, developed this pain, couldn't figure it out, and I just kept like just really meditating on it. In the bath one day, I just turned to the side and I was like, wait a second, there is like a being here. There's a giant angel that's here. And I was like, then this can't be. And I remember looking and then like checking my peripheral, like it's still there. Yep, it's still there.
Wow.
So
Was
yeah,
it?
it was, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times if people see angels, they're really tall. Was this one tall?
It was absolutely, he was tall. It was Archangel Shamuel. And he just came to me and he just told me, you know what, I'm coming because that pain you feel is because you've forgotten the true meaning of love. And I'm been sent to show you what love feels like. And so he kind of scooped me up and held me. And I was like, oh, like it just goes through, you're radiated. And I was like, this is so good. He's like, that's what it's supposed to feel like. What's what love is. So then he just said, he came back the next night and I was like, okay, hold on a second. Like when people start seeing angels, it's like uh, end of time or you're like transitioning into something. So like, what's the deal? Are you taking me? Am I dying? Like, what am I leaving? And he said, the choice is yours. I've been sent to give you that option to come back with me and work from the other side, or you can stay here in the 3D and work from this side. And I was like, I don't know anything about working. Like, I don't know what to do. And he just took me on a tour at that point and he opened up what was he called Entrance of Life. And it was this big opening. And he just said, hey, like have a look, see what the other side is like before you make a decision, be fully informed. This is what it would look like. This is my offer. So I'm standing there with my archangel, and as far as you can see, we're like in an aisle, and there's angels on both sides of the aisle, and it's lined just with these seraphim angels. And I looked at him and he's like, these are your angels. You go ahead and speak to them. If you work, these are be devoted and you would work with them. And I was like, I can't even speak angel. Like, I don't know how to talk to them. And he's like, sure you can, just got to remember, just open your mouth. And that's when like the light language started, the angel music, the angel voice, all of it. And as I opened my mouth, they all kind of turned and looked and they just kind of like hung their head a little bit. And I was like, what are they doing? And he's like, they're having gratitude for you. And I'm like, what did I do? What's going on? And he's like, they're just really humbled to be of service with you and in this way. And I was like, this is so crazy. Like, this is an amazing experience. And I was like, hold on, what would happen if you didn't come to me? Like, how, if I couldn't see you, how would that connection be made where you offer me this like transitional period? Like, how does that play out if I can't see you? And he's like, oh, good question. Like, you would have had a car accident and you would have been the only person in your vehicle, and you would have looked both ways at the stop sign and pulled out right in front of like somebody would have T-boned you, and you would have gone into the hospital and you would have had like this coma type state. And that's when I would have come to you and asked like, are you staying or coming?
Wow, that's pretty
And I was
interesting.
like,
It's like
crazy.
you had the NDE without having to have the trauma.
Yes, exactly.
Did you ever ask yourself, why me? Like, why are you choosing me? And if you did you ask him that?
I did. I asked, like, what is it about me? Like, how can I help? Like, why me? Like, just pretty much what you said. And he said he needs my energetic signature for things, because certain humans have energetic signatures that are required for things. And at the time, I didn't know what that meant. I was like, just pick any old human. Like, this feels very much like I'm not religious in the religious sense, but I'm like, if there's a God, then why isn't the God doing all this work? Like, what is going on that you need all these humans to come up? And he's like, no, no, not all these humans. There's key humans that have this genetic, like, energetic signature about things. And that was over time, I've learned that but now I take clients back to like pyramids, or take clients to find different gems that they've left places, but it's all part of activating different places on earth, through our energetic blueprint. I also help beings like do galactic mediating. So if there's different beings that have challenges with different races, they'll be summoned, and I'll come in and I will help mediate some of those things. And a lot of times it's just because of my blueprint, that the energetic blueprint, that they're just sort of like, okay, Natalie's here. And then we just mediate through the conflict.
Now, before all this happened, you weren't spiritual or anything, were you? You were just more of like a clinical trauma therapist?
Yep, the trauma therapist. And I made the link to, wow, we can reshape things, when I had my own workplace trauma happen. Another therapist had a different opinion, and she just became verbally aggressive with me, and it just triggered things. And I ended up going into therapy myself to seek support for the trauma I had sustained. And we did what was called EMDR, which is where you process through memories. When doing that processing, you hold these buzzers and they intermittently buzz. And it's the idea of being able to hold the memory and process it in a way that desensitizes the memory, so it doesn't trigger and be in your nervous system, causing those impacts on a day-to-day basis. So that was sort of when I realized, wow, like, something that has happened in the past, we can reshape it by living it, reliving it. Like, how does that even work? So that experience that I felt in my body, and watching those images change, and then feeling like the trauma had been removed and desensitized, that was the key and the start for me to find the emotion code, and then to find, I was doing, it's called Bourla method. It's a little bit like kinesiology and muscle testing, to find your nervous system of feelings that are lodged in your nervous system and pulling them out. But when I was pulling them out, it's when I started finding some of that past life and doing some of the regression, and going down that rabbit hole there.
Are you speaking the light language? And or do you, I think they would call it light codes, or the symbols with your hands. Are you doing that as well?
That's right. Yep, both of them.
How does that process work for you? Like, are you channeling it or what?
Yeah. So for me, there's different types of ones that happen. So I try to give a bit of an analogy as well, so people can understand what it feels like. So the DNA activated light language that is specific to each individual gets triggered by being near something that has energy. So when I go into like a grocery store, or I'm in meditation with other individuals, that energy comes near you and you can feel it. And that triggers my DNA to start. It feels a lot like a kettle that starts boiling, and then the little valve on the top opens a little lid, and then out comes all the light language. And when it comes out, it plays like a movie in my head. I can see what is happening by listening to my own words, what's going on. So it doesn't translate word for word or symbol by symbol. And when it's coming out, I am in that movie. So a lot of times it'll be Gaia, like Earth, who's there, and I will be opening or healing, and you have to move your hands because it's the codes that come with it as well.
So are you saying that perhaps another being is next to you but in a different frequency, and you're channeling them, or is it some kind of just energy, like light energy from source?
So that's the second one that you're speaking of there. The second way that my light language works is if there is another being. So if your guide is near you and I'm connected with you, I can see your guide. They will start giving me language, and then I can start speaking, whether it's blue avian and it's not my genetic DNA type activated light language. It is specific to speaking to that blue avian that's there with you because they're connected as your guide. So they would be giving me information specific to you and how to help and assist you.
Sorry, there's just a lot of background noise in my where I'm at right now, so I'm always undoing and undoing the mute button. For everybody else who's watching, that's what I'm doing because I want to keep it the sound quality as best as I can. Do you ever find yourself speaking light language when you don't want to, or does it only happen like you have to get in a meditative state or something and then it'll work?
No, for me, the veil is very thin. So people that give me information that kind of come forward, they'll be talking about things. I can all of a sudden I'll see like what is actually happening. So they might start off with a bit of a download or a bit of a memory that they have, and they'll say, this happened and that happened. And I'll be like, whoa. And then my light language will be right here, ready to come. And I'm like, hold on to that for a second, because I can see the beings trying to come in, and I can actually see a craft that's right there. And there's something right in the center of your like chakra that I just need to like pull out. And then it just flips and starts speaking. So yeah, the veil is very thin. Same with going into stores or public places. If there is somebody in a store, like I went grocery shopping with my kids, and all of a sudden I was setting a frequency in the store. And when I set a frequency, it is just a deep hum. It's just a like it sounds like that. And it is, you don't take a breath. It's very long, and you hold it, and it's very powerful and sets a frequency. And so I didn't understand why that was happening. And when I looked a couple of aisles over, there was an individual, and he looked like he had recent surgery. He had a scar from ear to ear. So he had some kind of head trauma, and they had gone in. And when I asked afterwards, because I don't typically ask in the moment, because you're living life and you're getting your groceries, it's hustle and bustle, you got 4 kids with you. I get out to my car and I'm like, what was that about, guys? And they're like, we just had to reset that individual needed a reset. And so we might as well have just hummed it out for the whole store because everybody could benefit. So yeah, you do find that I find myself in situations that language just comes out. Same with my kids. I'll tell them like, hey, come over here. And I'll end up saying, "Kukutaya, night." And they're like, okay, for us, it's normal. Like English or light language, they'll respond to both. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry.
No
I
worries.
spoke with somebody today that was channeling. She had told me that, and not here on the podcast, it was earlier, but that had channeled and maybe was singing or talking light language, but she felt like after doing that the English language is so limiting. Is that, does that happen to you?
Absolutely. So when I pick a being or a being comes near me to channel, like for the purposes of channeling, I've asked, can you just like how other people channel in English? So the being speaks to them and then they, in English, speak it out. And so we tried that with different beings. And I was like, this is so hard because like you have to find the words to come out. Like in light language, it bypasses those words, and it's an energy that hits, and then it triggers. It's like a reflex. So similar to how a doctor would knock you when you just reflux, and you have no control over it. That's what happens with our light language. And so you can choose to open that channel to let that being in and be clear. but it is so difficult when they speak English to me. And then I'm like, okay, so let me summarize that. And then you think about it and you're like, summarize. Okay, they said a big blurb of this. And you're like, this is so much thinking. Like, this just doesn't, it's not logical. It doesn't make sense to do it this way. So I'm like, just give it to me in energy and then let me light language it. And then I can summarize my light language. That's so much easier for me to do it that way when I channel.
So you're saying that once you speak the light language, you have the ability to translate it, because for the person hearing it, I'm assuming 99% of the time, it just sounds like sounds that doesn't mean anything. But you're able to actually sum it up and tell them this is what it means.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was awesome. Well, Natalie, I'm so sorry I have to run. I've got 3 people waiting on me, but I appreciate you coming and sharing. And before we go, if people want to find out more about what you're doing, you have a YouTube channel, I believe, right?
I do, yes.
What's the name of your channel?
My name of my channel is Divine Transmissions Official.
Right. Do you have a website too?
I do. If you go to natalienadine.com/yes, that's where I have my bookings site. So people that want to do sessions, if they want to do soul fragment retrieval or healing work or experience what light language is, or have even those activations for their own light language to start taking place and expanding their own gifts. I do a lot of empowering other people to, expand and use what we have, what their DNA can do for them.
All right. Well, Natalie, thank you again. I appreciate you.
You're most welcome.
And have a great rest of your weekend.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And a big round of applause for Natalie. Let me cancel that. All right, Vanessa's here, and Vanessa has been a guest as well. And she's down in Puerto Rico. And so we'll catch up with Vanessa, see what she's up to. For the person hearing it, I'm assuming 99% Vanessa.
Yes.
Can you mute the YouTube video? I think you might have done it now.
Just did. Is that okay now?
Yep.
Okay.
We just don't see you. There you are. Hey, Vanessa, what's going on?
How are you, Jeff?
Great. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Mara doing?
She's just peachy. She says hello. She's right over here.
Hello, Mara.
She says your new haircut is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's hot. It's so hot here.
You're in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, but it's worse than ever. Those solar flares are killing us. Truly.
Did you see the podcast that I did the other day where the guest was talking how the color of the sun has changed?
Yes, it has.
What did you?
These are things. Yes, definitely. These are things that are going on in the world that we need to understand. That's what I wanted to come and join, because I've heard your whole show as always. I always watch you guys, and I was listening to the people, the importance, oh my God, for us to learn about energy, to understand energy, because this is my invitation. I'm always telling people, if we are made of that, shouldn't we engage into learning more about it, how it works, because it has a specific behavior. And when we learn to master that, our lives take quantum leaps in terms of all aspects of our lives. And it is so convenient for us to understand our lives and what is going on in the world out there, and don't feel afraid of it, right? We need to be informed. So, and we need to learn about the behavior of energy, because we are it. That's the material that we're made of. We are electromagnetic
what tips do you have for everybody to get, to become more aware of their energy and be able to, use their energy for benefit?
Well, the first thing we need to do is to approach, open up, get informed, look, and because there's a lot of information out there. And if you can, just join me. I do it for free, and I teach about this all the time. So learn about energy and how open up, see yourself, and treat yourself as the energy. And the first thing we need is to get informed, to understand that energy, the material that encompasses the whole universe and what we are, our bodies are, was the order that the universe was made in. And when we're treating ourselves as biological beings, and physiological beings, and not energetic beings, we're failing, because we're breaking the natural order in which the universe was made in. And mathematics rules the universe for astrology, for everything we do. So we need to follow and honor that order, that same order. We have jumped. That's why we're so confused, and we don't understand about the cosmos, the aliens, all this, right? The angels. We don't understand all that because we were introduced directly into our biological and our physiological world. But the world was not made in physiological manner, and was not made in its origins in biological ones either. It was made in quantum physics ones, because atoms you cannot see. The same way you cannot see spirit, energy, you cannot see, because it is all made out of that material. And that material has a specific language, has a specific behaviors to it that are ruled by math, by physics, quantum physics. And you don't have to learn exactly about quantum physics and know everything, although once you open up to understanding energy, you will know. This knowing will come to you naturally. It will.
I guess the only energy we could basically see is lightning.
Exactly. But the whole world is made out of that material, and we've been ignoring it. That's why we don't know ourselves, because we've been neglecting what we truly are. That's what we truly are. And it speaks a specific language that is ruled by universal law. So I would suggest that everybody look up the 12 universal laws. First one is the law of oneness, which we're being pushed right now to understand that everything, energy, cannot be divided. It is one thing, because energy is fluid. It's always vibrating. That's why we cannot die. The atom is alive. We have attributed life always to biological things, right? When truly life is in the atom, because the atom cannot stop vibrating. It has kinesis, it has energy, cannot stop. Nobody can destroy it. Nobody can stop it from vibrating. So it is alive. And in human life, that translates into our emotions. We experience it in body. When we are embodied, we experience it through our emotions. And
why do you think people who don't express their emotions, that withhold them, why is that so physically damaging to the body?
Yeah, that's what happened to me. That's why I went to your show, right? Because number one, that's why we have so much illness. We are electromagnetic beings, that I've said it before in here, through the blood and the plasma of the blood. The plasma of the blood has gamma rays in it. Yes. And that is what ignites life in itself. That is why you are born out of water. The embryonic water that you are born in when you're a baby in the mother's womb is the same thing as the plasma in the blood. Okay? That is what ignites creation. And water, the best conduit of electricity, what is the best conduit for electricity? It is water.
Interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yes, it is water. That's not a coincidence. We need to be ignited with life, with electricity, through a medium that conduces that electromagnetic fields. And your astrology, basically what says astrology, when you are born, those frequencies that are everywhere, but we don't see them, right? Because those, the sun, Venus, Mars, all the planets are to a certain distance from where you are being born. And it is a mathematical formula which you are impregnated, because those electromagnetic fields, mathematic fields, imprint you with that blueprint, a specific mathematical one that will keep on with you for the rest of your life. Because and that's why you have more influence of the sun when you are born, whenever and at that time you are born, because all planets are moving, constantly moving. So that energy is changing. Your energy does not change, but the outside electromagnetic field does change. So you are always exchanging with those fields and how they are changing. And that will impact your life. That will impact your life.
That's interesting.
Yes.
You know, Vanessa, I have to run because I got 4 people waiting on me and I'm even in overtime. But before I go, I just want to ask you something real quick, because you are a Spanish speaker living in Puerto Rico. Have you seen that I started dubbing videos in Spanish?
Yes, whenever you need help.
Well, have you seen them? Have you seen the ones that I posted out? It's all done like through AI. And I just have to retranscribe them from English, and then they do all their magic. But I just wanted to know if you were aware that I started creating those.
Yes, I was aware. Yes.
Have you listened to them? Do they sound like they're correct?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome.
So you can keep on, and if you need any help,
well, thank you. Well, thank you very much. Like I said, I got to run, but I'm going to have 2 more come out. I'm have another one come out this week.
Okay, perfect. So I'll be looking forward to watching it.
All right. Well, Vanessa, thank you so much for joining us. We always appreciate you.
Me
Take
too.
care.
Love you deeply, and keep on doing the marvelous work you guys do.
Thank you. We love you too.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Oops. Too quick, I guess. All right. Next up is Steve on golf course, which I think this has got to be Mr. Cake, because he has become a golfer recently. And so I wonder if he's actually on course at the moment. That would be fascinating if because he has a cell phone and he is on the golf course. Wow.
Hello, everyone.
You are on the golf course. That's amazing.
I'm on the golf course. It's mine. I own it now.
So that's awesome. Are you going to hit balls for us?
Yeah. So I got about a 200-yard shot here. It's a par 5. Got about 200 yards. Par 5. Tiger Woods got a 3-iron here. So let's see what he can do. See if I can set that up here. Tiger Woods taught me a golf trick on the course.
Wow, there you are. That looks okay? There you go. Cool.
So we'll just say this is what I like to do. I say either God bless you, God bless the shot, or I say like $1 million if I make it on the green, just so I get some kind of.
Are you left-handed, by the way?
Yeah.
I am
I'm
too.
right here, but left. So we'll say, God bless this shot. May it get on the green. That is
Wow,
way short.
that's a very nice swing you have there.
Thank you. Yeah, I practiced a lot, and I dedicated myself to improving.
Well, good. That's great. How long have you been playing golf?
Well, I've been out here a couple hours.
I mean,
No.
for your lifetime. For this in this incarnation, how long have you been playing for?
Well, see, I was an average player, and then my dad kept bringing me out, and I said, if I'm going to keep coming, I got to get good at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I dedicated. I say whatever you dedicate, you can get as good as you want to get. And then last September, I tell people God changed me and made it easier for me to do things, and that's including hitting a golf ball. And then dealing with the frustration. So I never swear out here. I never curse, because on a golf course, there's a joke like they're swearing, they're cursing, they're throwing their clubs, and then they say, "Same time tomorrow." Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting is your phone gets great reception out there, probably better than at your house.
Oh yes, much better. Where I live is terrible. It should be condemned.
Do you play where you play golf? Is that close to where you reside?
Yeah, it's about 3 miles away, so it's a little bit too far to walk for me.
Mm-hmm. You're not walking.
So I'm out here with a nice guy who said he'd give me a ride. So I said sure.
Oh, that's great. It's almost like we're doing one of your walk and talk YouTube videos.
Yeah, walk and talk. So we're walking, talking here. God bless you. Have a great day. That's what I say to people. I say they should keep a camera on me, because it makes me gives me energy. I think knowing that I'm not just sitting in a room moping. Because I say people are seeing the top end side of me.
Can you do any of the lines of Caddyshack?
I met the Johnny Rama. So I came with the Johnny Rama, and he says, "Gunga la gunga," and that means I hope you have a great day. And so I'll jump in the pond. Yeah, what do you think?
What about Bob Hope? He used to do golf, right?
Yeah, I had a joke. Comedians love to get in another person's jokes. I said, all I need in life is health, hope, and things to do. But now it's all I need in life is health, Bob Hope, and things to do.
So do the mind jackers ever come while you're playing golf?
Mind jackers, folks. We are not going to jail, folks. We are not going to do it. We are not doing that at all, folks.
Yeah, I say the mind jackers is like it's like a comedy thing. I don't know how to explain that, but they do take me over. But I say like you can resist it. That's the thing. And this was the same. Okay, we've had enough of you, Steven. Try to resist this one. Woo! We are jumping. All right, we're going to take a golf club out of here. It doesn't matter what golf club. I don't care. I'm a mind jacker. I'm going to do what I want to do. All right. Put the ball down. And we are now going to hit the golf shot for you. Even though I'm not from America, I'm a French Canadian. I'm going to put this right on the pin. Maybe it needs a little work, but we are trying our best, aren't we?
Stephen, is it cold up there? Because I notice you're wearing a jacket.
Yeah, it's breezy. That's the thing about Duluth weather.
Mm-hmm.
It can you can come out here 70, nice sunny, and then 10 minutes later, it's like windy, rainy, 50. It can change on a dime. So I say just prepare for everything.
And is that a normal summertime weather? Temperatures around 70?
Yeah, 70. It gets up to the 80s here.
So nice. We'll be in the hundreds here, so that's why I'm like, wow, I need a house in Duluth next to you. We can play golf together.
Oh yeah, that would be great,
For the
Jeff, because
summer.
I need friends. I need love. That's what I'm praying for every day.
Well, but you've got how many people are here right now? You've got over 250 people here that love you.
And I love them very much.
Well, would you have anything new to share with us this week? Anything, any new insights from that you've got from either the podcast or just your own spiritual
Yeah, I
journey?
just say that, you know what? Let's all be a blessings to each other. Let's all care. Because, like I said, I got this voice now, and it talks about how people just need to care. If you don't, they say it's all about me. They said it's all about me. Advice for me. They said people shouldn't care what you're doing, but if you ask for help, you should be able to get help. And right now, it's like the government not too good, folks. It is not too good. They want me running. They want me like doing something because I need a purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
And if it should be considered a crime to have me just sit in a room and suffer.
Yes.
Yeah, that should be a crime right there.
Did you watch it? Have you seen the new thing about the big UFO video in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of stuff about that, and they're not going away. That's for sure. I don't think they'll ever have any definitive proof, though. That's kind of like I saw a UFO. I don't know what, and I tried to. This is the funny thing. I tried to remote view it, but that's still going to. I say there's a greater mind, and that's just going to give you information when you try to remote view. The greater mind just gives you that information. We're not doing anything. We don't have any abilities. That greater mind's doing it. That's how I explain it.
Right. Do you think that there is some type of unified field outside of the body where all knowledge and information is? If you can just
like a collective consciousness. Yeah, I think so. I just I've never been out of my body and had those experiences, but I've had vivid dreams, and I was like, yeah, this is not normal. And they give me dreams like about how I had a dog, a little wiener dog, and it had some poo on it, and then I didn't realize that. I said, "Oh, just go," and it got worse and worse. And I was like, "Yeah, that's my life." It's like before my life was wrecked 19 years ago. I had problems, I was suffering, but yeah, it got out of control. So that's why I need people to help me.
Do you feel like the golf course is a place for you, that it's like you're doing a walking meditation?
That's what it was, but I say it's there's nothing that says it has to be fun or enjoyable. So I make it fun. I train myself to bless everything, and then God, I say God changed me. They make it so I don't take things personally. So if someone was giving me a hard time the other day and I didn't take it personal, yeah,
but
that helps.
It looks really nice out there. It's beautiful. The weather's
It
great.
is. It's beautiful.
I mean, it's almost like you're in a meditative state, just being there, walking around.
I didn't have my balls with me today. I didn't have my balls with me today, but I didn't hit my balls away. I kept my balls to myself. I kept the balls to myself. They're everywhere. They're here. They're there. They're up in the air. Throw the ball up and catch it.
You know, if you
That's
had
what I
your
do.
orbs with you, you could be freaking people out juggling at nighttime. They would just see orbs going around and wondering what's going on.
Yeah, I like doing that.
You know, at a far enough distance in the dark, they wouldn't see you. They would just see orbs.
Yeah, throw them. Yeah, throw them high up, way up there. They'll see it from a long ways.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, brother. I've got to do what I got to do. I've got to do it. I've got to get rolling here. I'm way past my bedtime.
All right. God bless everyone. Have a great night.
Thanks, Steven. Have a great game. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, that was fast. And next up is Mr. Kings. But we'll see where he is.
God bless everyone. Have a great night.
Hey, Leslie. There you are. Oh, but you don't have your ears in.
Not.
You know, I apologize. I never got back to you on the email, but I had went back and, or maybe I did, but I listened to my playing last time of my instrument, and it cuts out. And funny enough, today I was with another guest, and she was doing a singing bowl, and we figured out why it does that. It's these audio settings. At least we figured it out for the guest. I've never figured it out for my side. But there's, I guess, when two things are going at the same time, it naturally cuts off. And I just realized, even for me, like I was just kind of playing some music in the background. It didn't work with the guest when I went back and listened to the replay. So I don't know if I have to figure it out on my end. But other than that, we are happy to have you channel some music for us.
Thank you. Can I share something very
Yes,
interesting for shortly? Under time when I listened to morning session just today, I
fell asleep. Yes.
Yeah, and quite relaxing time, of course. And I was very surprised. For normally I don't remember about dreams. But I have beautiful dreams, so I really enjoy it. So no any... But there was you inside my dream.
Oh, wow.
What was really wow. And I was very surprised. I said, quite late, but okay, I can come if he wants something for a play and anyway visit. Anyway, what happened, just a story. For what I remember, quite many times we queue up and waiting for ferry, for take a boat. And you had something right for going before us in another way and just sit for, wow, Jeff is just go out another way, and after probably you go to the boat. But I just remember for my baggage, my pocket is something behind me somewhere, and I was a little bit concerned for I need this. So finally those guys who is lead us for go to the boat give me permission for go out from this queue and go and maybe some finding this bag or things. But this is when I stopped my dream and just wake up and said, wow, dreaming with Jeff, what's going on? So,
well, we need Michael back up here. Maybe he'll tell us next time, what did this mean? Because he's the dream detective, and he'll probably... Oh.
Who is this?
There was a bug flying right into my face. Yeah.
Yeah.
What this means.
Yeah, he sometimes visit to my channel also. He don't use Michael names, he use some other names. One day he shared for, I am Michael, the dream man. I said, oh, really? Hopefully he listen this conversation and maybe find me and can talk about it. Yeah, but I don't want to, it was already, 10:31 in Hong Kong morning, and go for you, I think so, wow, very late already. So I'm ready, of course.
Let's put on one of your other cameras so people can see your hands.
Yeah, it's not AI. Okay.
We got some feedback.
Nice. Okay, yes. We get this one and the camera up.
There we go.
And my stomach very good. But if yesterday I teach my son. My son is be crazy to learn. Papa, I want to learn like you play piano. I'm not really.
That's great.
I think that's just okay now. Start my video.
All right. So for those of you that are new here, Leslie channels this music. And by the way, when we finish, which we'll be finishing pretty soon. So far, I only have one more guest after Leslie. That you guys, I think Leslie's still doing this, and but Leslie plays And if you guys, want to keep hanging out, this paranormal party doesn't have to end. So if you want to go somewhere, hang out, and listen to music while you're chatting, you can go over to Leslie's channel.
But where is Leslie's channel?
Where is it? Isn't it? It's not there?
There is there. That means Leslie King's YouTube channel.
There you go. Leslie King's YouTube channel.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really appreciated for a lot of visitors and your audience is very encouraging.
That's great.
Here in Hong Kong, nobody, no, not negative. Nobody profit in his own town. No, okay, playing.
All right.
Lord,
take it away.
Great. I see all the music. Oh, must be good.
I don't know if you can hear this, but there's a big applause going for you, Leslie.
Thank you.
Leslie, thank you so much. That was beautiful.
God bless you. With always love we share, and see you next time. I'm very appreciated. Hopefully we can get this dream interpretation. I'd like to go with you the same boat.
All right, sounds good. All right, take care,
See you.
Leslie. God bless you.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And again, another round of applause for Leslie, and Agnieszka's here. And I think she was here last week.
Let's see what all this let me share. Let's see you next time. I'm very appreciated.
Hi, Agnieszka. Give me 1 second.
No problem. Hi, Jeff.
All right, welcome back. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing good tonight. Thank you for this wonderful music. I was wondering if the audience might be interested in a little hypnosis session. For those of you who don't know, I am certified hypnotherapist. I practice Dolores Cannon technique, UHG, and also classic hypnosis, as taught by National Guild of Hypnotists. I'm also a certified hypnosis teacher as of last year. So maybe we could do like a 15-minute guided journey. What do you think?
So you will, all right. Yeah. I mean, everybody can, you'll just guide everybody. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
I will
sounds
guide everyone. I figured this music was so soft and relaxing to begin with. So we could kind of deepen that feeling, and that might be a nice sort of ending to your podcast today.
Right,
So if everybody...
That would be
Perfect.
great. I was going to tell everybody, I'm going to put this out there. I mean, I think it would be understood, but if you're driving a car or handling heavy mechanical equipment, don't do this. Wait till you get home and then rewatch the video, and then you can do that.
Absolutely. Make sure that you're in comfortable position. So preferably have something behind your head, because we want the body to be relaxed. So whenever you're ready, please close your eyes and allow yourself to connect to your breath. We're going to gently follow the flow of the breath in and out a few times with that intention to absorb all of the beauty and all of the energies, all of the frequencies from all the magnificent guests that were part of the podcast today. So I invite you to gently start softening your facial expressions. Allow your eyelids to become very, very heavy. Allow your inner gaze to focus on your heart, like if you're literally looking inside your heart. That will help the muscles around your eyes to relax, because we want very, very deep relaxation in the face. And I want you to keep relaxing your eyelids with every breath you take, with every beat of your heart, to the point that it will be very, very hard for you to open your eyes without putting tension back into your eyelids. And I don't want you to put any tension there. With every breath you take and every beat of your heart, drop your gaze down and allow everything to kind of sink down. Leave your consensus reality outside the door. Allow yourself to just tune into the frequency of my voice and soften your jaw, soften your tongue. Make sure that your jaw is loose, teeth are not clenching, your tongue is wide and short. Very nice. And that softness and that relaxation from the face, with each breath, flow that relaxation down your body from the top of your head towards tips of your toes a few times, and allow yourself to go deeper and allow the whole body to benefit from this relaxing state. So even short relaxation induction can be very, very profoundly beneficial. So any resistance that you might have on physical, mental, emotional level, leave it outside the door as well, so you can really go deep inside. And we're going to take few breaths into the heart now and exhale into the back of your heart, allowing yourself to experience expansion, just kind of natural softness in your shoulders and in your chest. And notice which parts of your body are relaxing faster, more rapid than others. And I want you to merge with those parts of the body. Imagine that it's like a space, a room that you can enter and fuse your energy with that feeling, so that this very soft, warm, relaxing state can be distributed evenly throughout the body from head to toes. And we're going to also relax your mind just as beautifully, powerfully as we have been relaxing the body. I want you now to think or imagine alphabet backwards, starting with the letter Z. And with every breath you take and every beat of your heart, I want you to make those letters of the alphabet smaller, darker, harder to see. Imagine it's like turning down the volume of music. You can turn down the volume of those letters all the way down, 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 down. And you can bring those letters back later, bigger and stronger than before. But for now, I want you to turn off the volume of those letters. Obviously, I can't do it for you. Only you can allow this to happen. So allow yourself to do everything that you, other than the conscious mind, needs to do in order to accomplish this. And if that process doesn't work for you, you can imagine or think of being on the beach and you have letters of the alphabet written on the sand. Take a nice deep breath and feel the breeze, feel your toes, your feet on the sand, feel the water. And maybe with the letter Z, you need to use your foot in order to blur the letter, but with subsequent breath, the water shows up on the shore and gently cleanses the pathway for you, so you can enjoy that open space. And I want to make sure everybody is ready for the next stage. Once the letters of the alphabet are gone, we're going to do a couple of processes that will help you experience something really profound. We're going to start with a memory. I want you to flow back with me on the wings of time to a time in your life when you felt very, very safe. And I'm talking about a level of safety that's so profound, so deep, that there is no threat, real or imagined, that can exist in that place, even for a fraction of a second. So be it a dream, be it a memory, be it a vision. What I want you to do, I want you to go there and activate all the visual, kinesthetic, auditory, olfactory, gustatory senses. In other words, feel what you felt, touch what you touched, see what you saw. And notice that there is a feeling you get in your body that strongly connects to that experience of safety. You feel it somewhere in the body, and I want you to point to where you feel it. So for a lot of people, it could be a throat or belly or heart. Sometimes even people have a color connected to this feeling. So I want you to notice if there is a color connected to this feeling. First impression. And then what I want you to do is flow that safe energy with that color connected to it above your head. And I want you to fill up your entire space with that color, with that energy, whichever color it is for you. So with every breath you take and every beat of your heart, allow yourself to grow and expand that feeling of safety. Let it fill up your entire space from the ceiling to the floor, from wall to wall, and all points in between. And I want you to just wrap yourself with that feeling like if it was a blanket, isolating suit. And once you've got it, take a nice deep breath and flow that energy, flow that color through the body. Notice what happens. Tension begins to melt. It's like if you're pouring hot water over ice cubes. And I want you to just melt into that feeling, merge with that feeling. Let that feeling, like a shower, cleanse your body. And if that feeling is something you would like to maintain, you can anchor this feeling. So what is an anchor? It's a gesture that you can use. It's a discrete gesture that will help your body release all the neurochemicals connected to this feeling. So you don't have to do much. All you need to do if you want to feel that feeling is to close your eyes, be uninterrupted, teleport yourself back to that scene when you felt absolutely safe, or to that dream or a vision. Notice where that feeling lives in the body, what color it is for you, first impression. Flow it above your head, and again, fill up your entire space and all points in between. So this could be your house, wherever you are in a moment. This could be a car. This could be even bigger container. And when you're ready, you take a nice deep breath and you use a gesture that you picked. So that could be tapping your shoulder, rubbing your fingers, any kind of physical gesture that will signal your brain and your neurology to release those neurochemicals connected to the feeling of safety. So you can experience that feeling just because you want to feel safe. Nothing special needs to happen externally. It's all an internal movie and a state that you're activating. Beautiful. And you can play with that gesture and let me know how it worked for you in the comment section. And then we're gonna work on one more feeling today. And this feeling is a little bit more exhilarating. I want you to fly back with me on the wings of time to a time in your life when you realized, when you learned that you have some special ability, you know, you have this talent. And this could be something simple. Simple doesn't mean easy. Maybe you learn how to swim. Maybe you're great at basketball. Maybe this is something that you love in terms of academia and school, writing or math skills or cooking. It doesn't matter. But you discover that this is something you love doing. It gives you this feeling of being alive and tapped in and turned on, and you feel absorbed, but you also have fun. It's natural. It's magnetic for you. So whatever memory you're connecting with, again, I want you to slow down the movie in your mind. You can imagine that you're using a remote control and you go into that movie where you first experienced that feeling that you can connect with right now. And I want you to, again, take a nice deep breath and bring forth all of those feelings, all of the sensations, visual, kinesthetic, auditory, gustatory, olfactory, and so on. In other words, feel what you felt, touch what you touched, smell what you smelled, and so on. Even look at yourself in this moment. Look at your breathing pattern. Look at your physical posture. Even look at your gaze in this moment and merge with that scene. Step into that scene, like if you're stepping into the movie. And I want you to merge with that version of you so you can reactivate this feeling. And for some people, this feeling gets stronger as time passes because now they're really deliberately seeking that feeling and are able to isolate that feeling. So that feeling gives you more of an exhilaration. Maybe I'm on top of the world. I feel confident. I also feel at ease. This is a very, very good feeling to cultivate. Notice where that feeling originates within you. What is the source of that feeling within you? First impression. And once you have isolated that feeling, I want you to focus on it internally and start following this feeling as it moves through the body from its origin to another part of the body and another part of the body, and so on and so forth. So I want you to hook your awareness, your attention to that feeling and imagine your body is perhaps like a river and that feeling is a canoe and you're just going through the rapids. And I want you to do several circuits in your body over and over again. Saturate yourself with that feeling, drink it up, soak it up. And each circuit you make, allow yourself to go deeper. So from the surface level to subcutaneous level, to your muscles, to your veins, to the bloodstream, and so on. And allow yourself to absorb this feeling deeply and completely. Submerge yourself in this feeling. It's kind of like lathering this amazing lotion of confidence and joy and ease and fun. Notice all the details if you're with other people, if you're alone. Notice the smells. Notice all these factors that were present because you have an active memory of this experience that you're unearthing, and now you're teaching yourself to use this feeling, maybe because you want to present a material before public speaking or before any kind of event that would benefit if you had that feeling with you, and you would benefit from that feeling, or you just want to practice feeling good. There's no specific reason that we need. We just want to feel good, because when we feel good, life is amazing. So for this feeling, we can also create a little shortcut, if you will. In neurolinguistic programming, it's called an anchor. So whatever anchor you want to use, again, it's a gesture. You can use it when you're in traffic, in elevator, you're waiting in line somewhere, it doesn't matter. Again, you just close your eyes, you're uninterrupted for a moment, and you teleport yourself back to that experience when you felt really empowered. And you find the somatic address of this feeling and circulate it, massage it in, you use your gesture. And before we finish, we can practice another little trick. So if you like that feeling and you want to amplify this feeling, you can touch your right earlobe, and that's going to turn the feeling up. We're going to amplify it like if you are in IMAX theater movie and you're going to amplify all the sensations, turn up the volume of this feeling. I've had clients who are like jumping when we were using this trick. And then if you want to tone down this feeling, you can touch the left earlobe, press it, and that will make the feeling subside a little bit. So you can learn how to navigate that feeling, how to give yourself the right dose, and know that in the privacy of your mind, you're all powerful. You can tap into all kinds of movies, and you can shift energies from one movie to another into the present moment to obviously benefit your life, your health, your well-being. So with that awareness and with that gratitude for this ability, I want you to just appreciate yourself for exactly who you are on all levels of your being. And when that's true for you, you can bring yourself back, notice how you feel.
Agnieszka, thank you so much for that hypnotherapy session today.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Do you have your own new YouTube channel?
I do. I am more active on Instagram, or I can provide my website. I do have, I would recommend the viewers to go to balanceisperfection.com. That's the easiest way to find me.
Okay. Well, that's how, if you guys want to find out more what Agnieszka is doing, then check out her Instagram.
Yes, balanceisperfection.com or Balance Lab by Aga. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. We appreciate you, and have a great rest of your evening.
You too. All
right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And a big round of applause for her. All right, guys, it is almost 10 o'clock. We almost went 3 hours basically tonight. So tonight was a really busy night. All right, so I think I'm going to be having an NDE for you tomorrow night. So I want to thank you all for watching our videos, and thank you for coming tonight and hanging out with us. We will see you next week. Have a great rest of your evening. We love you. God bless.